Hi everyone, I'm Summer Inanen.
Hey, I'm Sarah Ramson, and today we're talking about how to handle your food restrictions in social settings.
Yeah, have you ever been somewhere socially and kind of felt ashamed or like you didn't want to be that person at the table who was being really picky about the menu? So instead you decide to just suffer the consequences of a physical reaction? I think it's really common sometimes that we put off our food restrictions because we're afraid of the emotional consequences of just owning the fact that we have these food sensitivities. So we're going to give you a list of things that you can do to manage your food sensitivities in social settings.
And a little bit of perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've both suffered from food sensitivities, and so we know where you're coming from and what it's like. But really, as Summer said, you have to own it. When you go out and you're with friends and you can't eat tomatoes and peppers and whatever it might be, you should always be able to put your health first. There really is no argument here. And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, a lot of people have these same issues and problems, and I think it's important to recognize that you're not alone and to just own it, that it doesn't mean that you're broken or there's something wrong with you or you're inconveniencing others. It's just something that you're doing to manage your health because you care about yourself.
And I think that we feel like we're the only person out there who has this problem, when if you were just to speak to people candidly and say, you know what, when I eat peppers, I just get this really bad headache, or my digestion goes a bit weird, like I'm not going to eat them. You'd be surprised to find that people will come back to you and say, you know what, when I eat X, Y, and Z, I get this. People don't realize that symptoms they're experiencing are from things like food sensitivity. So because you have pinpointed that, it's actually pretty inspiring to other people as well.
Yeah, and you know what, for the most part, no one's going to judge you, no one else is going to care, and if they do, they probably shouldn't be in your friend circle to begin with. You know, it probably means they have their own insecurities and, you know, they're taking it personally, but it's not a reflection on you directly. And I think if you're eating out, you know, just be open and honest with the wait staff. Like, you are paying them to eat in that establishment, so you have every right to understand what ingredients are in the food so that you can avoid cross-contamination.
And I think when you speak to wait staff, just be upfront from the very beginning and say, hey, I have some food sensitivities, so I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Don't worry, I'm going to tip you really well. Just be very polite and very kind, and just say, I'm not trying to be difficult, but you know, if you have any concerns or if you're unsure about anything, please let me know, because that will help me guide my decision on what I eat.
Yeah, and I think that you don't have to give details as to why you need to avoid certain foods. I mean, sometimes people may ask and they may be curious, but you don't have to explain yourself. Like, you don't have to say, I'm avoiding gluten because X, Y, Z. You know, you're avoiding it because it doesn't make you feel good, and you know, you don't have to give an explanation, I guess is what we're trying to say.
You don't need to over explain. You can just say, I just can't eat these foods. Bam, done.
Yeah, and if you don't, the other way you can spin it is as well is just, I don't feel like eating this right now, and take it home for later. Like, if your grandma makes this favorite pie that you grew up eating every single Thanksgiving, but you don't want to hurt grandma's feelings, like, you know, just say, oh, grandma, I'm really full, I'm going to take some home for later, and then get rid of it.
I really hope my grandma doesn't watch this.
And the last thing to do is just to plan ahead. You know, if you know you're going to be going to a certain restaurant, maybe check online first, look at their menu. If you know you're going to a potluck or a social event, maybe bring something that you know is something that you'll be able to enjoy, or have some food that you can eat ahead or a snack for later. It just requires a bit of foresight and planning. Yeah,
and if you know, you're really lacking in the support department, people aren't really getting it, just go online and find a group that can help you out.
Exactly. There's lots of forums, there's lots of, you know, meetups in your area of people who, you know, have food sensitivities and whatnot. So you don't, like, you're not alone. So don't feel that way. And definitely check out our video on how to deal with unsupportive people, where we discuss this as well, which we'll link to in the show notes.
As well as our video on food sensitivities.
Yes, exactly.
To show you how you can start getting over them.
Yeah. So tell us, do you have any strategies for dealing with food sensitivities in social settings? We want to know. So tell us in the comments below. And definitely check out our websites. I'm at summerinnanen.com for a free guide that will help you break up with dieting once and for all.
And come to my site, sarahramsden.com, that's Sarah with an H. And there you'll find free guides to do with fermented foods and just fitting healthy food into a busy lifestyle, all sorts of stuff like that on my site.
Great. See you next time.
See you next time on our next episode of S&S TV.